We're here at Jazz Live San Diego with Joe Garrison. Welcome to Jazz Live San Diego, Joe.
Well, thank you, Vince. Thank you so much for having us.
So it is really a great honor to have you and the Night People here. I have to mention that you were here in our booth at Jazz 88 at the end of 2012 when you were just talking about this music and about to come back after 5 years to play this music from Veranda and some of your other original music. So it is a great honor to have you back and playing it now live on our Jazz Live San Diego stage.
Well, we just couldn't be happier. We really just could not. It's just so great to be back at City College, and the station is just such a great treasure for San Diego. It really is.
Well, since that debut back in 2012, you've had at least, I was counting, 6 times that you've been able to put the Night People band together to play this music. Can you tell us who the Night People are tonight? Because it is sort of a rotating kind of band.
Yeah, I mean, it's thank you to Kamau Kenyatta and Gilbert Castellanos for really telling me you really got to get this back out on the street. And if they hadn't pushed me, I wouldn't have. So Kamau Kenyatta is our music director, really, in soprano saxophone. And Kurt Johnson plays flute, alto flute. I got a list here. Ariana Warren plays clarinet, flute, but the king of instruments, the bass clarinet, which you just heard. Awesome instrument. Tonight we got a young guy filling in for Charlie Arbeliz, who is with the Marines in New York, playing with John Faddis and the like. Matt Hall says he's living the life. No, he's living the dream. And Connor Hughes came in, read the parts just like a pro, which he is. Derek Cannon, trumpet and flugelhorn. Everybody knows Derek, right? Derek Cannon, I knew him. He was at the first Night People birth of 24 years ago, right here on stage. And I said, Derek, you used to be good then.
I'm sure he appreciates that.
But now you're even better. But he was always awesome. Doug Musin, I've known, he's the nicest person, except he does horrible things to trumpets. You know what he does to them?
No, tell us.
He takes them apart. I mean, it's like they're all Frankenstein instruments. He takes trumpets apart and puts them back together in unholy ways. Ian Tordella is covering alto and tenor. I mean, can't believe we got Ian to play with us. I mean, he's such a great player. Matt Hall is filling on trombone tonight. A great trombone player, a young guy. Our bass trombone player, Brian O'Donnell, is playing with the opera tonight. So thanks a lot, Brian, for Verity over Night People. Kevin Esposito is another trombone player, and a great one. I remember hearing when we recorded Veranda, his intonation, the way he could just, it was like he was threading a needle with sound. His intonation was just amazing. And now we go to our rhythm section. We have a double rhythm section. That would be a piano and guitar. That would be Lynn Willard on piano and keyboards, and Tonga Ross Mao on guitar. Tonga is another multi-instrumentalist, but he's playing guitar with us. He's a great other player. He plays piano, saxophone. We have 2 bass players, Doug Walker, a great person, a new father, and Antar Martin, another great bass player. Lucky to have these guys. Drummers, Richard Sellers, an amazing drummer who, a structural drummer. He thinks in terms of the structure of music, and he plays that way. He sets up sections, and he designs a lot of the drum parts. And Charlie Weller, who's another amazing multi-instrumentalist, he's playing drums. He's just a great player, really good musician. Everybody is. They're all great. And I'd like to thank Rob Thorson and Fernando Gomez, who are just so busy, but they were the rhythm section with on Veranda, and they were just unbelievable. I mean, Fernando, he's a great young drummer, and everybody knows Rob Thorson, of course.
Exactly. Well, so Joe, let's then dig into the music, and And maybe the big question is, if anyone has heard this music, you hear there's complexity and structure amongst all of the improvisation and the solo, or maybe that's even vice versa. But why is this kind of a band that, as you said, double rhythm section, needed to play this music, or what kind of things does that bring out in your music or your aesthetic of music?
I tell you the reason. It's the players, and it's an energy thing. For me, it's energy, and I just love those guys. And then I said, how about, well, hell, why not?
Why
Ask
can't I
them
get
both
them
to play. Yeah, I mean, they both wanted to play, so let's all play.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an energy thing to me. They have, I mean, Richard Sellers and Charlie, they have concepts about that. And then Antar and Doug Walker, I just give them one bass part. I've started writing 2 bass parts,
Mm-hmm.
but I just give them one bass part, and they work it out. I totally leave it up to them how they handle it. But I really look at music as an energy thing, and it's about the people playing it and how we all relate to each other and with the people who hear it.
Well, I was reading something that Robert Bush wrote about your music. Robert Bush, the jazz writer here in San Diego, and he wrote, there is a heavy emphasis on darker textures in Garrison's writing, and one of the things that makes me that brings up now as I hear that, and one, I want to ask you what you think of that, but two, does this energy that you're talking about, does it maybe, I don't know, lighten up some of those darker textures, or even deepen them? What are your thoughts on the view of darker textures in your music?
Yeah, I wonder what that means actually.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it means, but
well, so let's talk about your use of the bass clarinet, or those are some low tones.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And those are those. And some of your sections, I think, are kind of drawn out. You write long sections,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
maybe that's kind of what he's thinking. But I don't know for sure. But so it doesn't sound like you feel like your music is necessarily dark.
Not on purpose, but I think it kind of has a kind of darkness. It's funny. I think like I said, to me everything's about energy, and I'm always like asking, like, what is the nature of music? I think it's kind of a kind of dark question. What is the nature of music? I still don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a kind of like endless. It's like looking into the universe and just not knowing what it is. To me, I guess that kind of makes it like dark. Not dark to me, just like confused.
Mm-hmm.
Like really, I have no idea.
Right. Complex and
Over
an
your
enigma.
head. Yeah, enigma. Everything is over our heads, so like why would we pretend we get it? So that's dark, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, so the music that you're playing tonight, is it exclusively from Veranda, or have you been composing more music for this group of musicians?
Oh no, man. I don't practice anymore. I write music. That's what I do. So the problem. I have a lot of stuff we'll never play. But yeah, we're doing new stuff. And for some reason, like the theme, a lot of the new stuff is kind of end of the world kind of theme. I don't know why. It is dark. Now that you mention it, like the one chart we go, Quanta La Lluvia, the whole theme is about the end of the world. And Doug Walker came up and go, well, like exactly how does the world end? And, well, I don't really know, but it's ending. I just know that.
Well, then let's talk a little bit about how you got to this point in composition and this style of composition, because there's many different kinds of new music out there, and people who are writing straight ahead tunes that are more mainstream, but you're writing a very unique and original type of music, this large ensemble, extended compositions. How did you develop that, Joe? Is that something that you all have been striving for a very long time, and you kind of were inspired by some writers early on? Tell us how that kind of developed.
Absolutely. My big heroes are Claudio Monteverdi, and the way he structure and I don't know the Italian, but there's a piece he wrote called the Dances of the Ungrateful Ones, which I really highly recommend looking into. It's an incredibly beautiful piece, and the whole idea of the way he did structures, where you could have something flowing, all of a sudden stop and have something inserted there, and then go back to where you were going. So like the idea of modular sections, and then the cubist stuff like the Stravinsky was into. So I really got into the whole idea of free improvisation, but I kept finding it leading to the same places. So I came up with the, and I don't think it's unique to me, but using improvisational sections as structural elements, you know, like a symphony, they have development sections, and we turn it here. We just throw it to the players. So like in a fugue, like Bach, he would do transition things, and I try to use improvisation not as a circular thing where you're just going through the form, but something that moves, that the piece is moving forward. And so it's like the improvised sections are structural elements.
That seems to go with that energy thing, moving things forward,
yeah,
and keeping things moving forward.
And I think I'm really traditional. I mean, I still like everything. I don't do it really, but it turns out like the whole classical thing with the dramatic curve, you know, what they call the golden triangle, the golden mean, you know, where you have like a beginning and then a development and then a peak and then you know, it's just like, it's just beat into me so deep that everything. I'm trying to get away from that, actually. You know.
Well, that'll be interesting to see how that works. I also wanted to touch on something you've talked about the role of the audience in your playing, and you know, when you talk, the first thing that pops into my mind as I hear that is that you almost have an audience in back of you, and as the musicians, you have such a big group of people back there. But the people in front of you also are very important. Tell us a little bit about what they kind of give. And
man, I really believe that it's about energy. I really believe that, and I look at it like the audience. I actually wrote a paper when I was in school about audience in performer relationships. You know, like I just think that I don't like the separation, and I have ideas for audience participation but that's hard to it usually turns out to be cornball and stupid, so
right.
We haven't pulled it off. But I think the audience, like, okay, for instance, we added all these you know, 2 basses, 2 drummers, because we needed those guys. We needed their energy. Well, the same thing with the audience. It's like it doesn't happen until we all do it together. It's really simple, but to me, it's like it's really amazing thing that happens when we hook up.
You know, it's interesting that you should say that, because I've seen quite often, you know, now on the internet, as I look through videos of live performances, even I keep coming across some of these things. Like there's a band called Snarky Puppy, which is a large ensemble, and a lot of their live recordings are done with people all around them in a large space. Everybody's got headphones so that they can still do their thing, but it's like a listening party for a live recording. And it sounds sort of like what you're potentially talking about.
And that's like gamelan music, where the audience, like I've gone to gamelan performances, and audiences are walking around the room. You know, I mean, I like that, the whole everybody's together.
Well, I want an invite when you do that session. All right. So let's close on what's next, Joe. What do you say you're still writing? You're writing music. That's your thing.
Yeah.
Is there any recording planned, or you know, what's next?
Yeah, we want to record. We're trying to get some money together to record all our new stuff. And I want to do a project with Amadou Fall, who we played with, the great coro virtuoso. It was so amazing. And I got some ideas, and I'd like to do things with him that aren't necessarily African based. Yeah, because I'm not African. I mean, you know, I don't pretend to be.
Right.
And it's like, why don't we just all? Hang on, I forgot about this. Why don't we all just? You know, I'll write what I write, and I know what he can do with his kora, you know, like scale-wise and what he can tune to.
Mhm.
So I don't see why, I don't really see any point in trying to like write what art, you know, like try to sound like I'm from Zimbabwe. Although we have a piece that is based on Jacob Mapuleni's music, which is totally based on music from Zimbabwe. We're all contradictions. What are you gonna do?
Excellent. Joe, quickly, can you tell folks where they can find out more about you, and your music?
Thank you, man. Please do like us on Facebook, Joe Garrison and Night People, and also we have a webpage, Night People Jazz. I think it's Night People Jazz, and we try to put up all our upcoming things. We really do ask people to come out and hear us and be with us, participate with us. We ask you to come. We really want to play. We really want to keep this going, and we need to do it together. So we don't want to just rehearse. We're trying to do one show a month.
Excellent. Well, Joe, it's again an honor to have you here. Thank you so much for being here at Jazz Live San Diego.
Man, it's an honor for us. We're really happy. Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Okay, let me grab.
You gonna do a? Oh.